All right, I'm smiling already. All right. Everybody, welcome back. This is the Natives in America podcast. It's Benjamin Juan that you're listening to now. And with me, as always, is Sky Anto.
What's up? What's poppin'?
Damn.
How's everybody?
I like how clear your voice sounds right now.
Is it clear?
You got honey on your voice tonight, Raul.
Ooh.
All right. Couple announcements. So I couldn't get it out of my mind. I almost mentioned it the last time we recorded, but didn't. I kept saying I was more aggressive when we were talking about being in concerts and all that. With Elijah Shea Martinez. I started it off I didn't start it off, but we were getting into how my mood has changed at a concert, and I kept saying that I was more aggressive now, and that didn't sit well with me. It kept bouncing around in my head. The more I thought about it, I was like, I didn't mean like I'm more aggressive, because I don't go seeking out trouble. It just if it finds me, I'm ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
With like more gusto than I've ever had before. So anyway, I didn't want to say that I was aggressive. I did. I said it a bunch, but that's not what I meant. I don't go looking for shit. I don't ever go looking for it. I don't want it. I've had plenty of it growing up, and a lot of it was uninvited, but it came to me for whatever reason, and I get I'm not aggressive. I just don't play that shit. I don't like that anymore. I'm too old to fuck around like that. So I just wanted to correct that. I wasn't aggressive because I don't go seeking out, but I just have less time for it, less time for bullshit. And that's all I really meant. It's like I'll aggressively defend myself versus being an aggressive person. How about that? Does that sound a little better? Anyway, it stuck in my head. It bothered me, and it continued to bother me, and I still think about it after recording that. I'm like, I'm putting this out there, and now everybody wants to, test the aggressive guy. No, I'm not aggressive at all. I'll avoid the fight, if I can. It's just, sometimes you can't.
I know it. I get you.
Yeah, so there you go. That was one thing in my mind. And then I was doing the editing for this week's video that we recorded last week, and called Artificial Intimacy. And one little tidbit that I wanted to throw out there was like a couple of the images were like lady robots that I tried to put on there, and I just had to put it out there that their breasts were extreme. All right, so I kept picking images like the lady robots, because that's what we kept bringing up, or I kept bringing it up. And I started looking at it, and they were so extreme, they were practically aggressive. And I kept thinking, oh man, people are going to be looking at this for 10 minutes, 10 minutes per image, and I'm just like, all right, that's a lot. That's a lot of hardcore shiny metal tits, And I started going, well, wait a minute, what's the alternative? Like, are the ladies going to get turned? Are they going to be turned off by this? So I was like, all right, what's the alternative? Let's throw some attractive male robots. Guy bots. And I tried to look up male robots. I actually used those words, male robots, and it doesn't exist. There's Osimo, and there's this weird image of this. He's an Asian guy. He looks Asian anyway, and it's just his face and a robotic body. And I was like, okay, and he looks all freaking weird in the image. So it's like, all right. That's what the ladies had to look at, this guy with no skin. And I kept looking, I kept scrolling and scrolling through the images, and there was no market for it. There was all these hot fembots, and no male market for the ladies,
Oh man!
So I was kind of disappointed in the scientific community. There's got to be some women out there designing hot male bots out there, and I couldn't find proof. I tried a few searches and didn't, and I might be on a list now because of these searches I did. But you know, I'm sorry to report that there's just nothing for the women. There's nothing for the ladies. You know. So what a shame. So that was a little tidbit. I was searching for images on Unsplash, which I use a lot. It's like they're royalty-free images, and as long as you give the artist the credit, like, hey, like I've been doing, they're fine with you using their photos. And you can search them on like a search engine. So, alright, my mic's freaking out. What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm sorry to report that. Now, Sky's come to us with tonight's topic, and I think he should kick us off. I'm looking at the clock. We're at 6 minutes, Sky. Bring us in. I'm sick of us going 10 minutes without what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. I never thought of a attractive robot male.
Yeah. There's just there's no market. Nobody's taking hot male bots out there, taking photos of hot male bots and letting me use them on Unsplash. So yeah, there you go. I'm sorry to report it. It's sad.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a what do you call it? There's a need. So anyone looking for a business.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
start working on hot, sexy male bots. I kept thinking, like, what would be the alternative offensive subject? Like, it wasn't offensive, but it was like in your face, metal shiny tits, like very pointy, very prominent, and it was like if you're looking at the picture, it was almost like whoa, like shocking. You know, as I was flipping between images, you know, it just pop up on the screen. I'm like, whoa, huge metal tits. Like, what's the alternative to that in the male population? Like, is that I don't know, muscly chested robots with
men are selfish.
Yeah. Yeah, well, apparently we're the market of fucking robots, and women just don't care, or there's no one producing it. I don't know. I kept thinking too, when I was thinking about all the shit I was saying about fembots, I was like, man, we're animals. We're animals. Put a hole in something and we want to fuck it. I'm sorry, like, damn. What is that? There's women out there like, I want connection and, you know, romance, and I'm like, yeah, is it hot? Is it a hot robot? I'll get one, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I was saying the whole time. I'm like, So, anyway, alright, we're at 8.5 minutes. Sky, bring us home. Okay, so
I just was thinking
about man butts.
No. Actually, I was waiting for the episode to come out because it was a very interesting topic. Yeah. But like, I was washing dishes, and it's a chore that it's not so much it's like I have to do it, but I know I should do it. Mm-hmm. But it's also a thing that I've been doing since since I knew I was making a mess. Yeah. You know, I had to clean it up. So I wanted to I think this is sort of like one of those to be nice episodes where we don't know what we're diving into. It sounds weird, but I think
it'll become something, huh?
Yeah, I think we should talk about washing dishes.
Okay. So there you go. There you have it, people. Washing dishes.
That's the topic today. So
in 15 seconds, under 10 minutes. I love it.
Hey, maybe if you want to wash some dishes, put on your headphones or.
There you go. Listen to this episode.
Hey, do you listen to music when you wash dishes, or do you even wash dishes?
Oh, dude, I watched it. Who do you think I am, man?
Well, where do we start?
You just started it, bro. That was the kickoff, man.
Oh, okay. Well, run it home then.
Paya, there it is.
Touchdown.
Well,
touchdown. Pass, man. You got
pass is a Hail Mary.
Now you just got to catch it.
It was a Hail Mary because we were 15 seconds to go. Let's see. So I think you touched on a big one. I think washing dishes is it's either D or the secondary. It's either the first or the second chore that we wind up picking up. Like I think one might have beat it. Is trash. Taking out the trash. I feel like I might have done that before washing dishes.
Yeah, I think throwing out the trash is one of the earliest chores you'll get.
Yeah, and I told you on our Fear episode that it scared the crap out of me. That was where I first started taking trash, was out there in South, on the edge of the desert. Shit, we're in the desert now out here.
Yeah, it's I think we're scared of the dark.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so throwing trash, spray being eaten or something.
Yeah, more about that episode. I've been thinking about it more and more, and I keep looking at that window, and I just keep going, it's so stupid. What was that about? Like, once I talked it out, I felt a little better about it, and just kind of silly. Just a little silly.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so it's out there. I want it said. I feel a little silly, but it's out there. I'm afraid. I'm a grown ass man, and I'm still kind of afraid of the dark. Okay. All right. Back to dishes. So it's one of the first chores we learn, and I think the third one on top of that would be washing your own clothes. Start doing your own laundry. I started that pretty early. Okay, so we're talking dishes. I think the thing about dishes is it tends to go way too long. Like it sounds to me like every time we're recording lately, you will have your dinner and then you're like, all right, I'm washing dishes, and then we have our episode. So it sounds to me like in your household you guys wash dishes every night.
I think so.
Wednesday? Every Wednesday?
I think we're on a rotation where everybody takes turn washing dishes, but like,
nice.
We use the dishes to eat on, so they're gonna be there. So I think that's sort of that's what I was thinking about, like not living at home and being like, fresh out of high school, moving into an apartment where you don't got like shit. You don't got like you only got like one good fork or something.
your one plate, so your one bowl, you gotta keep them clean.
I don't know. So like, I think you can kind of get away with not washing dishes, but like, where we have dinner. And you cook, there's dishes you gotta wash, and it's a lot of dishes. And I was thinking about that earlier too, when I was like pondering whether I should mention it to you, this topic. But like, I was just thinking of like cavemen, like moving it up, like, oh, fancy, you guys got plates for your food, kind of like civilized.
A scooped out piece of wood as a bowl. Your spoon, your spork made of wood.
Yeah, so those shit had to get washed, right? Or
dragged around in the dirt, shake it off a little.
I don't know. It's just it's gonna be there. Here when you go out and eat somewhere, there's the bus boy that
poor bastard
gets your plates and is washing, and usually that's like, well, I don't know. I've never got paid as a dishwasher, but that's always kind of like a small job, you know, like you're not a waiter, like taking orders, you kind of, when the mess is made, you're kind of cleaning it up. So I don't know, I was just thinking about it and all these different ways of washing dishes, and then, I don't know, like, I was realizing that I eat out a lot. I mean, of course, obviously, but, I'm not washing dishes when I'm eating out.
Okay.
So,
let me,
I don't know what I'm saying, man.
Let me put this question to you. So I started off saying that we put it off. Like, sometimes it goes way too long and the dishes stack up, and that's like a daunting task. You see a sink full of dishes and you're just like, fuck, I don't want to do that. And usually it winds up somebody cracks and says, I can't look at these dishes anymore, and they start washing them. Lately I've been hearing them just like, damn it, like somebody's gonna start some shit, and I'm barely making any money right now, so it's like when I have a chance to wash dishes, I'm like, all right, this is something I'm gonna do as my part. I'm gonna do my part and wash some dishes. I just washed them the last time, and I've done it like 2-3 times this week where we got out of hand. I've been making like a lot of bread and stews and stuff, so that takes like a lot of like different cooking utensils. And it's all messy, and sometimes it's still there. Like, I try to get them right when I'm done, so while it's still clean. Still not clean, but like malleable. You can still separate it, you can still wash it before everything gets sticky. But what was I gonna say? It looks like a daunting task, but it feels so good to have like a kitchen that's been cleaned out, like. All your dishes.
Oh yeah.
You walk in and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you. I kind of feel like nobody follows it anymore in this house, but we used to institute the cook doesn't clean.
Oh.
So if you're the cook and you made dinner, somebody else is washing those dishes. We had instituted that, but I don't think that shit flies anymore. Like. We're all grown now. We're all not kids now, and it's like, all right, I just gotta do the damn dishes.
When we were younger, like kids, where I think it's just kind of like unwritten, or not unwritten, but just you don't gotta make a chart. It's just it's your time, but every once in a while. But we used to say that more often just to make sure, like, hey, you're doing it tonight. Like, we called it KP, which was Kitchen Patrol. And my mom would just be like, yeah, I'm KP tonight.
Damn.
And we like, that would be our spot. It's like, damn it. Or at least if we knew it was going to happen, it wasn't anything, but it was just, that's what we called it, just so make sure someone did it.
You're on KP tonight. God damn it.
My mom still says that to me, but it's more in a joking.
Nice.
It's more in a joking way, and it's still the same. It's still the same. Like, yeah, you're washing dishes. But I don't cook. That's the thing too. Like, I think we kind of have that too, but I don't cook really as often. So it's kind of like, that is my contribution. It's washing the dishes.
Well, luckily both of my parents cook and I cook, and but they're getting kind of slow around the house. So like, about that time comes around, and I'm like, hey, like who's cooking? Like, hey, I just turn to my old man and be like, hey, what are you cooking tonight? And usually he'll just laugh at me like, Like he sleeps pretty early, so he'll be like, "Oh, I already made a sandwich." Like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm already out of this equation. Like, I'm good. I don't know about you, but I'm good. Kind of thing.
I ate.
Yeah, I ate. I don't know what you guys can eat. He does that a lot. Like especially in the morning. Like if we're not awake, he doesn't cook for us. He'll cook it for himself. I'm like, motherfucker. I wake up like, Dad, it smells good. What do you got? And I go out there and it's fucking nothing.
God.
Yeah, he already ate it. He cooked for himself, and we're all left to fend for ourselves. So, well, I guess what I'm getting at is like about dinner time. If something's already not cooking, I go out and cook. I'm like, all right, I gotta whip something together. Look what we got and whip something up.
Yeah.
So I'm a cook, and a lot of times I just put the dishes in the sink, or the food's still in there. So my responsibility is to make sure the food gets put away, and then I'm like, hey, I cooked it. I'm not gonna clean it, but every now and then, anytime you go in the kitchen, I like to wash my hands. If I'm making a sandwich or something, I'll wash my hands. And if you gotta move dishes to wash your fucking hands, it's about that time,
yeah.
That's usually my cue. I'll look through the dishes like, what, I could probably knock this out real quick. Or I'll look at it and go, what, I think I created half these dishes here. I might as well be the one to clean them.
Yeah. I think you kind of like throughout your ages, you have a different feeling towards it.
Yeah. Because
I remember being like looking at the dishes like, man, I didn't do this. Like, this ain't mine.
Yeah.
It's petty, and like just realize. Going through the dishes like that ain't mine. Like, I ain't washing. Like, just kind of pissed about it, but.
I saw you eating out of this bowl earlier. It's not mine.
Another thing we do too, or it's not really what we do, but it's like the dishes start to pile up, and it's like someone has to step up, and then it's like once they step up, then it's like, and I'll step up, start washing them, and then slowly my bro will start bringing other dishes just around the house, just slyly putting them
motherfucker.
Oh man, but I think I joke now more about it because it's like in real life you really have those feelings, and like I'm not watching that shit like anything from this line on out, man. I'm done.
Nice.
Or like you watch your dirty dishes are so damn dirty, you gotta like empty out the water like a few times and replenish the soap because you're going through the dishes so much and shit. Like just
you're washing your dirty dishes in dirty water and no longer getting anything clean.
Oh man, so that was always a chore on our list, was washing dishes. Right?
Yeah.
But like, I remember we used to be like splitting it up where I wash some of the rinses, but like, I like to do the dishes by myself now versus like, I always felt like when I was younger, that was kind of like a thing of like, if I gotta wash them, someone has to, do this thing or like, sort of like help me out still, even though, but again, I think that's just I don't know what it is, the youngness or
it's a task, man.
Yeah.
One thing I had to learn, which used to piss my mom off all the time, is if I do the dishes, you gotta also clean the stovetop.
Yeah, bro.
God, I'd be done, like, I'm done. She's like, no, you're not. Look at that. Fuck that. Like, God, no. So it's like there's all these additional things attached to washing dishes. Like, all right, you got to also clean this. You got to wipe the counters down. You got to put them away when they're dry.
Yeah, and then like you wash all the dishes, and then I always feel guilty if someone washes dishes, and then I need like a cup, and I use one of the clean ones. Like,
damn, what are you doing?
Someone just cleaned that, and I'm just like, here. Oh, I'll just use this cup.
Well, what sucks for me is I'll have like the drinking cup. I always have like a big drinking cup full of water, and it almost always gets picked up in that whole rate for used dishes. I almost always take my drinking cup, and while they're washing, I go and take out a cup. Like, hey, this is my cup. Like, what are you doing? And they're just like, motherfucker, I just washed that. All right, I got a question for you, and this is, I think a lot of people will be divided on this. And what's your feeling on paper plates and plastic silverware? Because I think the whole idea behind it is that you're trying to prevent a little bit of that dishwashing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we got paper plates. You take a plate, you throw it in the trash, it's done. And I always feel like it's wasteful, but like we do it here. My parents, I think the whole idea was to save some of that energy of washing plates with paper plates. And washing forks and spoons and knives with plastic, all that shit. And like, I feel guilty putting plate after plate in the trash when we got perfectly good plates. Like, I think a family should have a family-sized set of plates and dishes and all the silverware, all the cups, and then that's it. Like, it's a set number, you can wash all that, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the whole paper plate, plastic, silverware type deal?
Man, of course they're wasteful, but like, but yeah, like I think it is sort of like a way to chop down the cleaning part of like having to wash the plate and reuse it. But one thing I remember, because like on TikTok, you hear responses from people from other countries. Yeah. And there was one lady kind of like saying like, why in all your videos where you guys have like the same like plates, and then she realized they're not plates, they're just paper plates.
Yeah.
So it was just weird to her that we use paper plates normally, like kinda like every day, when I think the initial paper plate was sort of like a special, like,
picnic.
Well, I mean, it just seems more of a loose.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we use it for everything, you know. I mean, even if we, I don't know, maybe they don't want to buy dishes and they don't want to have it. I don't know. It's just where it is wasteful, but it's, I don't know.
I think it's wasteful and kind of counterproductive.
But then, what about the water? Like, you can argue, hey, we're saving the water. We're going easy on the water. It's biodegradable. I mean, that's one way you can argue it.
Are they though? Like, is plasticware? Like, I think paper plates are pretty biodegradable. Maybe not all of them, but I think on the most part they'll degrade, fall apart, get eaten, they'll become something. But the cutlery?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what that word means. I just
you brought up I think either TikTok or Instagram, and I follow a lot of like conservationists. Like, I love videos of sharks and alligators and whales and all that, and like they're usually coming from some conservationist group, and they also post videos of the trash they find, like in the ocean and around it on the beaches. And it's crazy how much of it is just household shit that we got just floating up. A lot of plastic bottles. You know, that's a crazy amount. And I think about, like, I always think, like, where is our trash going? Like, back in the day, cells used to have a dump.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Just a hole cut in the ground, and you just roll up and throw your shit in there.
Oh, damn. Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, my uncle here in this village, he used to have a burning hole in the back of his house.
Yeah.
He just have a hole and throw like 4 or 5 bags of trash in there and just set them on fire.
Damn, that
used to be a pastime, dude. I'd go help them do that and just watch it burn. Like, yeah, black ass smoke, you know. Probably filling my childhood lungs with black lung.
Well, it would just be like years of trash, you know, just burns.
Well, there was a...
Why did they stop?
Well,
they don't do that no more.
Yeah,
but,
they don't. Yeah. I think there was a lot of talk of, like, pollution and all that.
Yeah,
but, what tripped me out was there was a couple... I want to say a season. I don't think I even stayed with them for a year because I wound up getting a second job, and then because I had it, I fucked up that job. But I was working as a landscaper with my cousin, and that exposed me. Like, I was in Tucson doing that, and it exposed me to the dumps in town. Like, I never use a dump there. I just throw trash in the dumpster, and that's it. Like, I never really thought, where does it go? And then as a landscaper, you almost always have a truckload of shit, like just garbage from people's yards, and you take it and you go deliver it to the city dump. And I didn't know half these dumps were there. Like, there's one smack dab in the middle of Tucson, and I'm not even aware it's there. Like, what the hell? Like, one time we were going down a road I've gone down 1,000,000 times, but only we kept taking it. And at some point, it just opened up into this big patch of desert and this gigantic pile of Tucson's trash.
Wow.
And it blew my mind, man. Blew my freaking mind. So I guess what I'm getting at is, like, yeah, there's this whole wasteful element of paper plates and silverware, and it's adding to that. I always wonder, where the hell's all this shit going? And, like, when we're doing the collection of dishes in the house, the big pilgrimage to collect everything, I'm usually also throwing away a bunch of paper plates and trash. And that creates, you know, bags of trash. And it's like, all right, how many bags are we throwing away a week? How much shit is my family alone producing? And then you think, how many people on the res, how many people in Tucson, how many people in the U.S., how much globally? And then those big floating piles of trash in the ocean just suddenly make sense. Like, God damn. A lot of trash.
Yeah.
It's gotta go somewhere.
That's why... you think, like, that... I don't recycle. The only form of recycling I do is with aluminum cans.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes cardboard. Yeah. But I'm not that good. Sometimes I'll be consistent with the cardboard, like breaking it down, not throwing it in, and then they got those big green recycling bins at the... Well, they got them all over, but there's one in Power.
Yeah, that's new. I never.
That small part, you know, maybe it does saves on a little bit of, instead of bulking it in a bag of trash. But, like, is it enough, or is there enough people doing recycling to where it's like, we're not making a big ass mess, or are we just like, it reminds me of this, I think it was The Office. It was the same, they're at a dump, and they're just saying, like, only beavers could have made this type of mess, but it was like, we were the ones that were messy.
I got a little tidbit. I was staying at this house. I remember you remember where it was. You stopped by that time. I was staying at a doctor's house in town when I was going to school, and there was an empty house. So what she would do is bring doctors that were visiting the school and have them stay there with me. And this one time, these two girls from Mexico came. They were venomologists. They were part of a team that was producing anti-venom for snakes and spiders, and I think their main thing they were pushing for was scorpion bites. And I cooked them breakfast one day. I cooked for them a lot, but it was like I cooked for them breakfast. And I was like cutting the ends off the onions and skinning potatoes, and I was getting ready to throw all this shit away, like all this. Like I think I had packages of food, like I emptied the cheese, so I threw the cheese in the trash. I bagged up the potato peels, and I was about to throw those away, and I had thrown the ends of the onions in, and there was eggshells, and then the carton of the eggshells, and they looked at me, and they're like, wow, like, you Americans, we had this idea that you guys were leaders of the recycling movement, but here you are, you're throwing all this shit away, like, you're wasting all this shit. And I was like, huh. And that shit stuck with me from then on. Like, they took my potato peels, washed them, and deep fried them, and cooked them for me like that, and I ate them.
Oh shit!
And it was good. I was like, okay, never did this before. Like, so we had like potatoes and hash for breakfast, and then for lunch I had deep fried potato skins with something else. I think they made me rice or something. So like ever since then, like I look at these trash bags we're producing, and I'm like, how wasteful are we? And like, considering the number of bags that leave this house and how many paper plates are in there, packaging, all that crap, like how quickly we can fill a trash bag, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I just think on the opposite end, like Costco. Like I love going to Costco. I mean, not love. Maybe that's not the right word.
You said it, bro. It's out there now.
Yeah, I kind of love it. But, I mean, you buy things in bulk, you know, shit, man. It's just, I mean, like, the way we think as far as days, like, we're planning out for the days to come.
Yeah.
So, who wouldn't want to pack ahead?
Yeah. No, we do. You kind of have to out here.
Yeah, but then it gets used and it piles up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like I said, like, I mean, I'm pretty, like, recycling, I mean, I think it is happening in certain areas, but, like, I don't know if it's enough to where we're cleaning the earth up, you know. But,
well,
yeah.
There's the water thing. Like, I think the idea is good on paper with paper plates and all that. Like, all right, we're saving water. No dishes to clean up. But, like, in the end, watching those trash bags go out, I still feel like it's a huge waste. And like, what's funny is because we always have paper plates and cutlery now, plastic cups, like forks and spoons. Whenever I kind of make a point to pull out a glass dish, the plates, the bowls, the cups, and a fork, and I go, well, we could wash this. One good wash, and they're back in the cupboard. They're not going in the trash. We're using them again and again. Like, one plate, you know, has been used 1,000 times. And you get to use it 1,000 more, and it's like, how many paper plates did I just save? 2,000 paper plates. Like, I don't know. It's a lot of it's wrapped around dishes, and like I remember there was the commercial that just came out about using your dishwasher once a night. It saves on water compared to washing dishes in the sink. They were trying to do that to advertise for their, I think they had like droppable single-serving dishwasher soap. Now, I'm sure they were pushing their product, but it kind of stuck with me too. Like, how much of that is true? Are they just selling product? Or is this real research, and how much water are we wasting washing dishes?
Yeah.
Especially with this crunch going on in Arizona right now. Like, I saw a news report the other day saying that Tucson was considering going to groundwater for a while because they were going to have to start rationing their CAP water from Colorado because the river's going so low.
Oh, damn.
So I was like, I saw that headline and I was like, man, like, we used to be attached to a well water, and I think I brought this up before, but I think they started getting like high levels of arsenic in the water, or like unacceptable, you know, it tipped the scale to that point and they shut the well down. But like I always go like, fuck, is that stuff still attached? Could we go back if we had to? Is there even water there now, you know?
Damn. I can't remember what billionaire did that, but they're like investing in like sewage, like pretty much generating power from our shit.
What?
And
how so?
Like I guess the plumbing system that we kind of use, like I'm kind of relying on a different one, like not so one. I guess one that would lead to.
Do we have dams damming up flowing shit, generating electric power?
I don't know.
Rivers of shit. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember looking into it, but he was looking into more like maybe the research of the possibility of that, like using our shit as fertilizer, or I don't know, fertilizer, or I don't know what, but it's so weird how you can turn. I mean, just like gas, you know, like get it, gas, but like our shit, like I don't know, it just
what
could be fertilizer. I mean,
all right, okay, I'm glad you brought it up. I was gonna bring it up.
Maybe not healthy one. I don't know. That's what
I worked at Mesquite Valley Growers, and they had a special blend, like a house blend.
House blend the shit.
basically. Well, all kinds of chemicals. There was like calcium, iron, sulfur, nitrogen. They call it, I guess, urea is what they usually say, which is just a fancy way of saying piss. There's urea in there because that's full of nitrogen, which all plants need. And then the boss man there, he's like, oh, there's milorganite in there. I was like, milorganite, what is that? He's a fancy word for human feces. And when he told me that, I was doing the first distribution by hand myself. Like I guess they had people to do it, but they had fertilizer people. Like they would go around and douse all the plants or give them all fertilizer, like once every other month or whatever. But I did it for the first time, and I'm sitting there getting handfuls of this stuff and throwing it on the plants, you know, a handful per pot and all that. And he's like, you know what milorganite is, right? It's like human feces. And I just stopped cold, you know, looked at my hand. I had all these little black dots in my hand, like this black powder. And I was like, why did you tell me? Like, what is this? I've been breathing this shit all day. Like, you know, throwing handfuls, and there's like a puffy cloud of human shit flying at me. And he said that that's what they were doing. He said it was from Detroit. or something like that. I was like, damn, Chicago, like, what are they eating over there that makes their shit so great, you know?
Yeah.
But their shit don't stink, you know?
yeah.
And what he told me,
gold.
well, shit and gold, basically. And they would get, what do they call it? Autoclaved shit, feces, human feces. It's human feces, which bothered me. Cause you know all the fucked up shit we eat, and but I guess it was autoclaved, meaning they sanitized it. They took all the smell away, I guess, or I don't know what the hell they did. It didn't smell like shit, but it was human milorganite. If you ever see milorganite on a fertilizer thing, it's human shit. It's a fancy word for human shit. So, yes, so it's gold. And apparently they make really good shit in Chicago or wherever it was. I want to say Milwaukee, because I thought of the beer companies up there.
Yeah.
I was like, all these beer drinkers are shitting gold or something. I don't know. I was just like, wow, milorganite, human shit. I'm throwing it on the plants. So, yes, you were saying, you were talking about recycling shit, and there you go. It's happening.
Yeah, so it's
probably not everywhere.
The possibility of turning that into another form of energy or nutrients for plants or whatever you want to do. I don't know. I guess it's like whoever comes up with the cleverest thing, you know.
Yeah.
But
I saw one guy taking plastic bottles. Like all the collected water bottles, he was taking tons of it and building houses with them.
Really?
Yeah, like building the insulation, the building blocks of the house, and then they did like wattle and daub, like mud houses over the plastic.
Damn.
And it served as like insulation. And then I saw another company taking water bottles and like turning them into like string. Like shaving them into little strings, and they were wiring them together and making like really hardcore cordage. So anyway, I'm talking recycling now.
Yeah, no, I think
that's
why I think art's awesome. It's like someone can find a creative way to use something that might have been, you know, like waste or trash, and it becomes an art. Well, you know what I noticed too, like back in the day, like when we used to save cans, we would like smash them. We would smash them. They would tell us to smash them.
Yeah.
And so like I just remember just smashing them. And now, where we take the cans, because you can take them in Tucson too, and make a little bit of extra change, but the place where we take them, they would say like they want them not smashed, like a whole can. And I mean, I don't know. I guess like other than that, I really don't know why that was a thing, but I just wonder if they resell the cans or there's more possibilities to use things or make things out of them when they're not smashed. You know, I don't know. It was just always something I stuck out.
I got two guesses about that. One is they're selling a total can to be resold and it's going to be washed out and used. Like in my mind, it's always been they take all this aluminum, melt it down, and then get pure aluminum back and make brand new cans. But I'm also wondering if people were sticking rocks in the cans and smashing them down on the rocks to get just a little bit more weight out of the can.
Yeah, I remember that too as a thing. I mean, it was always a joke. Like, I remember my friend friend saying he went to go take his cans in, and there's another guy ahead of him that was putting like bolts in his can to make them heavier. Like,
was he caught? Is that how you knew?
And yeah, they caught him, and we always joked about it, about just putting bolts in your cans, or I don't know, like just being shady or something.
Yeah. So that's my guess.
Yeah, that might be true too. So we're talking about recycling.
Yeah, it's tied in. It's water. Like, washing dishes is usually with freaking water.
Whoa. Yeah.
And water is one of our most precious resources. If not the most precious.
Oh, the key to life.
Yeah. So, it ties in. It holds water. Yeah.
The water holds water.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring this up just because we're going down this path now. I think I brought up Dr. Stamets before, the mushroom guy. He's a mycologist, and so he studies mushrooms and everything related to fungi and all that. And they were. I think it was from a competition. What he's always talking about is how great mushrooms are, how there's like an anti-mushroom to everything. Like if an animal falls in the desert, it gets eaten up by mushrooms, and then the mushrooms produce energy for the plants around them, and food that like worms and insects can eat.
Oh.
And so like. And they claim that every step you take, you step on millions upon millions of like mushroom-related material under your feet on the ground. So it's everywhere, and it's like in all these strands. Like a lot of people think of mushrooms as the little toadstools that come up, the little mushroom caps, but most of the activity for mushrooms is underground. In these like strings, they look like roots, but I think they're called mycelium. And what he was talking about is they did an experiment. I don't know. It was either an experiment or a competition, and it was like they were charged by the government to try and take care of waste products, whatever. I think they included oil in there, like used motor oil. And they had like 3 garbage piles. And these, like him and his group, they were all into mushrooms. They were like, hey, mushrooms will do it. Other groups were like, hey, soaps and detergents. And this other group was like, chemicals. They poured chemicals to break down all these things that were in the ground. And the whole point was they were competing to figure out who would turn all this horrible stuff that basically becomes a what do you call it? Like a danger zone, like a waste zone. It becomes waste and it pollutes. It's a pollution site. So what they were talking about is how do we take care of these pollution sites, like waste from machinery, waste products that are running off of like cattle farms. Pig waste. I didn't know this, but I guess wherever they're butchering pigs, there's usually a lake of pig shit next to them. It just sits around in a big ass, like, if it's done right, like a cement and rubber pool, and it's just pig shit. And I guess the whole point of this competition was they're like, all right, we're going to give you all these nasty products, put them in a pile equally. You're each going to get your own pile. And we're going to give you a couple weeks to work with this pile and turn it into something that wasn't a waste product.
Yeah.
And I guess the chemical people, they wound up with all these other byproducts. It broke down the one bad stuff and just turned into more bad stuff. The detergents, or I don't know what the hell the other groups were. I want to say they were detergent. They were an alternative to mushrooms. And what Dr. Stamets and his group did was they planted different types of mushrooms that were known to require or feed on certain like biocarbons, which is the basis of all like oil and all that, like all these horrible products they put in there. And they planted, they took the mushroom spores and put it in this pile, and they came back like a month later, a month and a half, and they had all extra waste in one pile. The other pile broke down, but it just left this like lifeless spot on the ground. Like everything that was on that pile was dead. So it was just a dead zone. And then the other guys, they had more and more chemicals. They produced more waste than what they were getting rid of. And they had turned their pile, the mycologists, into a living like ecosystem. All these animals were there. There was plants and flowers and greenage. And like even the oil had disintegrated. It had been eaten by the mushrooms. And I thought that was cool as hell. Like, can you imagine taking all our waste products like trash and shit and whatever else, all our machinery waste?
Yeah.
Oil? Like oil's a huge thing. It's not just gas, it's oil. It's crude oil. Like say there's a spill in the ocean. We need better ways of fighting it than just, trying to mop it all up and keep it from spreading. So anyway, that was a long rant. I'm talking. I guess we're talking environment and waste and recycling, and I thought that was an interesting tidbit. We were actually supposed to be talking about washing dishes.
Yeah, no, that's pretty powerful about the mushroom.
Yeah. And you think about Dawn soap. They use it to clean oil off of all the animals, and at the same time we're using it to wash our dishes.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, that breaks down oil too. And then you got a bunch of soap. Like, I think there's in my mind there's an equivalency of how much soap to how much oil you would need. And it just seems unreasonable for the amount of oil we spill whenever these tankers go or these pipelines, come to think of it.
Oh. Yeah.
On that note, I got even more tidbits. There's this really, I don't know if it was pre-written or if he was just giving a speech, but there was this native teen. He had to be a teenager. And he was riding on a boat in the river up by the pipelines, up north, that they were protesting. And he's like, listen, people, he's like, it isn't just us. It's not just us in our sacred land. It's the water. And then he went to ancient maps, and he's like, look, like there's all these treaties that we struck deals with the United States government and Canada about protecting these lands for our people and generations to come. And he said, there's infringement on all these treaties, so you're breaking treaty rules. At the same time, he's like, people all around us, the South, everybody, your water comes from here too. And he kept going like, look, like it's not just us, it's not just our water. What flows downriver goes to you guys too, and when these pipelines burst, and they will burst, it's not just our water that's getting ruined, it's everybody's water. Everybody is on that river, the Mississippi and the Ohio River and all that. And the Great Lakes, they're up there too.
Wow.
So it's like, it's big. Oil's big. Nuclear waste is big. And they're not going away. Whoa.
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 Well,
and on that note, washing dishes.
Yeah. Well, when you wash dishes, do you have a certain way? Like,
yeah.
You listen to music, or?
I love having music on anything I do. It makes the work go better, go faster, and you have a little bit of a good time doing it. You know, shake your ass a little bit to some music.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I like to I'll put on my headphones and just vibe out, and it does make it go faster, but like I said, I've been kind of listening to other podcasts, and so I've been kind of slacking on my audiobooks. So sometimes too, like if there's like, you know, a good amount of dishes and I want to knock out a chapter or two, you know, I'll listen to that. But like, yeah, it's like you said, when you said daunting, I was like, yeah, that's a good way to describe it. But then, it's maybe like not so much time consuming, but like if I know, hey, I'm gonna be here for a while, or there's a good amount of dishes I need to wash, then you know I'll jam, or I'll listen to playlist or something. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I like to do it by myself, so I'm just kind of in the zone on my own.
I like doing sink full of hot water. Well, I always wash both sinks first. I get everything out and wash the sinks. And then I fill up one side with hot water, like a lot of water. And then I just start grouping everything that goes together. So cups, bowls, plates, and knives and all that shit, like utensils. And just let them soak. I tend to just let it soak start. Let the water cool off a little bit. I don't know where I'm going with that. You asked what my routine was. I don't just turn on music and the dishes get washed. You know, I'm someone who's kind of stuck to routine. I'm sure you can imagine that the way I talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I just jump in, you know.
Damn, badass.
Just jump in it. I never thought of like separating it. Or maybe I just do it naturally, but like, yeah, I think a lot of times it's like, small stuff first, and then start working on the bigger ones at the end.
Well, easy stuff. The stuff that takes a couple of waves, like a bowl and a cup and a fork. And then I throw hot water in the like pots and pans and shit. The shit that needs to soak.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on what you cook. Or you know what I don't like. Is when someone makes a cake. And the cake batter is like in between the spatula. It just like you think you cleaned it good enough, and then you start looking again. There's still more on it. And little scrubbing, trying to just get it right, and yeah. I mean, that's what is that? First world pains.
Yeah, for sure. First world problems. Yeah. That always hits me. Like, what are like the girls from Mexico? Like, what do they see looking in, outside looking in? How much waste is going on that, you know, we just kind of are used to now? I always yeah. I think that with
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think everyone's pattern is different with how they eat, but like, and I mean, I'm guilty because I'm like, you know, sometimes there'll be food. I think we were talking about that, or like doing a podcast on leftovers, like.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so like you know, sometimes.
Sorry, go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
So there'll be like food left over, and then we don't eat it, and then it's just then it builds up in the fridge, and then we gotta throw it away. And we throw it out to the dogs will carry it up outside. But I mean, wasteful in the sense of like, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, that's me being just spoiled, and I'll get lunch on the outside, 'cause, you know, I'm too. I always laugh because when I work with the nation, you get an hour lunch, so it's like you know you gotta take that lunch hour.
Yeah.
But then when I start working with this other business, it's like it's not with the tribe, and so there's not. My boss pretty much told me, well, my old boss pretty much says like, well, we work through our lunch. You know, it's not like you don't need to you don't need to clock out for an hour and then clock back in. It's just like, you know, wherever you eat, you know, you're probably working as you're eating. So it's like it's not even a thing. So like, I don't really that sense kind of just like you know, I start the day with I don't know what I'm gonna eat. You know, I'm just kind of fill it out. You know, but like I know I can eat the food I didn't finish the night before, but I don't always do that. But I mean, I wake up late. I'm not very well prepared, so I mean, talk about being wasteful. You know, like that's one way I'm wasteful. Really. And sometimes there's food that I can eat, but you know, because I'm living that American dream, I'm like, oh, hey, I'll go and buy over here, you know. I don't know. It's just I'm spoiled, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you are, Sky. Not me, but you are. Yeah.
So I mean, that I guess it's not being wasteful on purpose, but yet still being. I don't know how to describe that, but yeah, that's one way I can be like you said, someone from another country looking and saying, "Oh man, you're."
Yeah, well, they were looking at me going, "This is not what we expected."
Oh,
like you're American. Americans are always spitting all this shit about recycling, and everything they saw in my trash can was waste. Maybe not everything. There was some definite shit in there, but they're like, man, like, I can't believe how much you just threw away. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's trash. I've heard it said that Mexicans are the original recyclers. You know, they take everything that they have and reuse it up 5 or 10 times before they chuck it. Kind of shit. I mean, I don't know how truthful that is. It's just like, it was an eye-opener for sure to hear them say, like, oh, man, that's wasteful. And then they showed me why, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't deep-fried skin peel since then, but still, like, think about it. You know, I think about it all the time.
Wow.
It stuck with me, and it kind of made me a little more aware of what I'm throwing away.
Yeah, I think...
And I always cringe, like, damn, what could we use this for? Like, what We have enough shit here. We have all this shit, like, just piled up. I need more shit, like... At what point does my recycling turn into, hoarding, you know? How much shit am I hoarding?
I was gonna say, like, I think that's where gardening is important. I've been itching to start gardening again, cause
shit, bro.
It's important, but like composting, like,
dude, that's harder than it seems.
Maybe it is, but it's like I think we don't do it because we don't have anywhere to put it. Like we're not gardening, we're not planting as much to where if we knew our waste was going somewhere or we were able to use it, but the process of it is so long that I don't know, maybe our attention span is so screwed up, man.
I was gonna say you gotta give it attention, at least in the beginning, to start it like boiling. You gotta get it to a point where it starts working on its own, and then you can kind of leave it alone. But you gotta keep it moist. You gotta keep it moist, and you gotta tend to it. And that's difficult if you're also watering, if you're also working, if you're also doing all this other shit.
Yeah.
Like composting's for a hardcore gardener that's in the garden every day.
Damn.
And
that sounds awesome, though.
It does, doesn't it? Like, why don't we do it? We got all this space out here. Why not? Dude, if you want to start a garden, like right now is planting time. If you want to start a garden, I'll come over with a shovel and a pick, and we can do this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I want to I want to pick a place first, but no, I mean, I had some success in gardening before, but we don't live there no more, so it was kind of just like, hey, I'm not planting here no more.
Start anew, my man.
Yeah, so, but then I'm thinking too, like, my grandma has a garden that's just, it's not being used, and maybe even reviving that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely, with us talking about waste and sort of just being mindful of what we're doing. Maybe having a garden wouldn't be a bad idea.
If you could get the compost to start, like, that's probably the harder part, is getting enough material in there to start working on itself. Enough moisture, enough bacteria, it'll start going, start cooking. It's amazing how much crap you can throw in there. Like, how much true waste that we generally just take to the trash, you can just throw in that compost. Especially like paper scraps and yard trimmings, like you're cutting branches down or something, you can throw it in there. I remember going to the dumps, man, that shit would catch on fire. It would get so hot. The bacteria would be getting the piles. They'd have giant piles of yard trimmings from all the landscapers.
Wow.
And those, every now and then you would see smoke coming out of the piles, because there'd be so much bacteria and breaking down. Like, a lot of the trimmings we do, after a while, it'll start to fucking stink. And that's the breaking down. That's the off-putting of gas. That's the heat source. That's the bacteria. And when it breaks down, it starts creating heat. And I've seen those big giant wood piles catch fire.
Wow.
Like hay, if it gets wet and you have it in large amounts, it'll start doing that. I think Cells has had several hay fires, like at the waaaay building and stuff from that. Just heat production, and they burst into flames. That's why people try to keep their hay dry, I think, as far as I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you call it? Spontaneous combustion.
Yep.
Boom.
That's another thing. These dumps, the real big ones, they produce methane gas. And they have, what I've seen at the dumps is they'll have a big long pipe sticking out of the ground. And it feeds down into the lower layers of the waste they make. Like they make layers of trash, then cover it over with dirt, and then start piling trash on top of that. And they have pipes that go down to these different layers, and while all that shit's breaking down, it's producing methane gas, which is a greenhouse gas. But at the same time, I've heard, and I think I even saw signs of it, that a lot of the dumps now take that methane gas and save it and run all their garbage trucks on it, on the gas that comes off the trash.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's methane.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're definitely, well, I mean, I don't, maybe you can answer that question better, but like, there's definitely a group of not I say individuals, but there's people that are invested in renewable energy or trying to convert something that's maybe toxic or not so good into something that is useful, or not throwing it away for it to just be there, but actually finding another way to use it. So I don't know, maybe we're not such in the deep hole as we think we are.
From time to time, I think we're already past the point of no return. Remember on
point of no return, like we're screwed?
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Like, no, not go with it. Like, we still have to fight, but like, I think we're to the point where we're toxifying the earth. And eventually we're going to poison ourselves to death with our own trash. Eventually. And on that happy note, I had a point. What was it? I don't know, I've lost it. I think I was piggybacking off what you were going to say here, what you had just said.
Okay. Well.
Alright, you're gonna have to take it. I'm stymied right now. I don't know.
Alright, so did we talk about the whole, I don't know if it's just a joke or if it actually really happened, but like this whole, you go to a restaurant, you don't have money to pay the bill, but
okay.
Suddenly you can wash dishes, and that, kind of pays your bill. But like, washing dishes is, it is vital, right? Or it's
you got to.
Yeah, you got to, but like, and it's, I kind of think of it as like, peeling potatoes, where that's like, that's almost like not the low of the low, but like, that's pre-production. It's almost not.
You doing PP tonight? You're on Potato Patrol?
No, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to say degrading either, because it's like, it's not degrading, but it's like, it's an extra task.
I think go ahead, sorry.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm saying.
What are you saying?
We don't always maybe we might not always want to do it, or maybe we don't do it, but it still has to get done.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe because I've never done it, washing like at a restaurant where maybe it is an impossible job, but it's also a job where, you know, maybe it might not pay that much.
Yeah.
So
I know I've worked in kitchens before.
I was gonna ask you that. Like, have you ever washed dishes?
I can't think of where, but I know about the 3-sink system. You know, wash.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know about it, but I remember.
Wash, rinse, and then I think it's sanitize. And I remember being in giant kitchens. I think there were times where I got in trouble at school and had to go to the cafeteria and help. They'd let me finish the dishes or something, or I'd mop.
Mopping is I think up there too.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely a water killer for sure.
Well, besides that, you know, I appreciate a nice house that's mopped, you know?
Yeah, clean floor.
But like, I remember not liking mopping and when I was younger, but now it's kind of therapeutic.
You've aged into an old person. You're like, hey, I appreciate a good mop floor. Listen to it.
Damn! Old fart, man.
Old guy.
Like, this is a good mop floor here.
Yeah, you're all like flexing them out, like, hey, this is a good mop. Like,
appreciating that, man. Like, where you get this mop bucket? It's solid, man.
Solid mop bucket. You're all sitting in the corner fucking with a mop bucket. They're like, yeah, it's great, Sky. It's great.
You got me like, sounding like
one of those old guys.
So at Home Depot doing some type of home project or something.
Doing a demo. My last apartment, I think my floor affected my mood.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, you walk through the living room and you spill some coffee. You know, you'd maybe be getting a little too brewed and kick a beer over, and then you just throw a towel down and, you know, hastily wipe it up. And then, like, after like a week, my floor would just have like dirt trails on all the stains. You could see where all the things are spilled on my floor, and like I remember I'd go and mop it, and then it'd just be like, like that looks 10 times better, but I would always let it get really bad first. And I think my mood would change with it, like, oh god, this dirty fucking house. Like, oh my god. And then I'd mop it. So yeah, I guess I'm an old guy too. I'd mop it and then just feel a whole lot better. Check out the clean floors, baby.
Or when you're taking steps and it's like you hear the stickiness of whatever's on the floor with your foot and stuff. Like, damn, man.
Yeah. Especially with a 40, you spill a beer or something, it's all in there. It's there until you need a mop and some hot water.
Yeah. I think like if something spills, it's like you gotta mop. You gotta mop. You know, it's just.
Alright.
Well, I mean, I think mopping, you can say, I'll wait till the end of the weekend, but with dishes, it's like, if there's a big pile of dishes, you can't really just say,
you gotta.
Yeah,
you need that sink to fill up your next pot of noodles or something. You gotta fill it up. You're making a stew, it takes some water. Your sink's full of shit, you ain't cooking nothing. Or you're digging through the fucking sink trying to get to the faucet. So I want to talk about sink water and sponges and frickin' rags. We go through rags like crazy over here. Like, I'll pick up a rag. Like, I try to hang them out and let them dry out a little bit after I use them. Like, it'll be brand new. Like, you wash everything down. You got that. Next thing you know, you got the dirty water and a little bit of a dirty rag. You rinse it out, squeeze it out, hang it up to dry. But then somehow you come back and it's back in the sink and it's soaked and it's sitting there molding up. You know, it's getting moldy, getting that scent to it. I always, whenever I go to wash dishes, man, I step out and smell that rag, like, where are we at here? And it's almost always moldy, and I just take it and chuck it in the laundry room and get another one. Hopefully there's another one. But, I have this tidbit, and it pissed me the fuck off. Alright, like, it was my last apartment, and I was at my buddy's house. I was chilling there, and, my mind is always more leaning, like, I think I have, like, an emotional side of me that's always there, but, like, I kind of keep it bottled up, and then I got the scientific side of my mind. It rules all. Like, it's usually there even when I start annoying people around me with, like, oh, you should do it this way, because this works better, it makes more sense. Anyway, when I got a dish that I just used, it's still fresh and wet or whatever, I'll take it to the sink, throw some soap in it, and I'll use my hand, like, to rub it until it starts squeaking. And to me, that's clean. Alright? So, I was at my buddy's house, and he had his mom there living with him, and he had his, I think she was paying the rent, I'm not sure, but we were over there, his mom was there a lot. And then, I think there even more than his mom was his ex-lady's mom. Alright, and one time, we had just cooked out, I had just finished my meal, I think we, like, stewed a big-ass pot roast or something. I ate my bowl of food, I went to the sink, and I did what I do. I have my fork, my bowl, and my spoon. I threw a little dish soap on both of them, ran my hand over them, rubbed them until they squeaked, the fork, the spoon, the bowl, and they were watching me while I did it. And I went, I rubbed them down, like rubbed the hell out of the inside, like the way I see it, our fingerprints are about grip and like friction. So I feel like when you wash your hands really good, and then you do this rubbing motion on the fork, on the bowl, whatever, and then I rinsed them, put them on the rack. To me, that was clean. It was cleaner than rubbing it with a dirty sponge that you've used 100 times and now it's full of mold. Better than a rag that, yeah, maybe you started it today, but it's been sitting in the sink wet, so now it's moldy. Like, I feel like a washed hand is better than anything. And these two ladies were watching over my shoulder, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, yeah, I just watched that. They're like, no. They both looked at each other. No. They grabbed the fork and the bowl and the spoon, whatever. They brought it back. I think my cup, too. I had rubbed the lip down with my palm and all that. Like, rubbed my hands in there. It was water, but I still rubbed it because my mouth was on it. And then I rinsed it, washed it in soap, hot water, put it on the rack to dry. And they both like, no. They walked in. They didn't push me out of the way, but it was kind of like that kind of fluid motion. They filled the space, and I stepped back. And they took my bowl back off the rack. They put some soap in it, ran a rag over it. They did it twice in my mind. I was like, all right, you idiots, you just did the job twice. That makes no sense to me. So I don't know. I don't agree with what you guys are doing here. But I didn't say anything. It wasn't my house. It wasn't my mom's. I was like, all right, whatever. You guys want to do work twice? Have it. That's your thing. Cool. But so I guess why I'm bringing it up is like, what do you think about that? Like rags, sponges, your little scraper, your scrubber, your brush maybe for cups. What's your take on that? What was your take on that situation? Like, my proof here. All right, here's my proof in my thinking. is all of us wipe our ass, all right? All of us wipe our ass, and sometimes you get a little shit on your hands, right? All right? Am I wrong? Am I the only one? Just agree with me. It makes everything run smooth.
Yeah, so you're right.
Everybody has hand. Well, okay, let's not go there. I don't want to go there. Anybody who wipes their ass with their hand, they, do it 1,000 times. So many times you're gonna get some shit on your hands, right?
Okay.
Right. All right. Follow me here. Stick with me.
I would.
All right. So you got shitty hands. All of us have had shitty hands. Maybe you got the runs and you go to wipe your ass and your hand goes right to the... All right, anyway.
Yeah.
We've all had shit on our hands, and all of us still eat with our hands sometimes. All right? Now stick with me. My thinking is we all buy into the thought that you can get shit on your hands, wash your hands, and still eat with your hand. All right?
Yeah.
Like you'll grab some chips and eat out of your hand. All right?
Yeah.
So that means when you did that, you think your hand's clean. You washed your hands since you went in the bathroom. Your hands are clean. Right?
Yeah.
In their mind, I had just carried out a dirty act. I washed my hands, then rubbed the bowl, like using my fingerprints, the grips that we're naturally born with. Washed the bowl, put it on the rack. Clean, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with me, or are you with the moms?
I think I can agree with you. But like, I guess it's different with there's like a big pile of dishes. There's like all kinds of like food on them.
Yeah.
And
well, that was the point. I had just used it.
Yeah,
it was a brand new bowl. Used it for less than 5 minutes. Rubbed it with my hand with soap and hot water. Put it up.
Yeah, I mean, I go to my grandma's house and I eat over there and like say stew or something where, if I tear it up and just slam that and there's nothing really
empty
like
bowl, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the water pressure is like strong enough to where if there's any, I'm thinking in my mind if there's any mess, then it got it. And
so you're not even rubbing, you're spraying water in there.
Yeah, I mean it's just sort of like, I mean, I get the hand thing too, but like it's just still just kind of like.
Well, you just used it. It's fresh. It's not food stuck on it, right?
Yeah, no, it's like I tore it up. I mean, I ate so much. I mean, I ate everything in the bowl to where there's nothing in the bowl, and spraying it down with some water, I think does it pretty much justice of it being clean. And I'm probably going to be the one to use a bowl again.
Mm-hmm. I do that a lot. I'll wash it and then I come back and use the same bowl.
So, I don't know. I mean, now that's like, I guess I had to have been there for them to be like, to hear their side of it, but like, I don't know. It's like everybody has different rules in their house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just something they do, but.
Well, they definitely nitpicked on a lot of stuff. That was like, it got me heated. Alright, it was just like, get away from me, moms. Like, just go, get away from me.
It's like y'all follow someone else's rules, but, I mean, but then another thing too of my grandma's is, like I'll do that because I want to do it, but like sometimes, and this kind of relates to washing dishes, I think, is they'll say like, like, don't wash them, I'll wash them.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of just...
Do you think that was a courtesy, or was it like, you don't know how to wash them, let me wash them? I know how, like, I would have taken that as like, I got it, guys.
I think it's more of a courtesy,
yeah.
But in my grandma's house, I think it's more of a, because I'm the oldest grandson, it's like, no, you don't wash dishes.
Wow. Maybe old school.
You know, I kind of wanted, another thing, when I had this idea, I don't know how we're doing on time, but like, and it goes back to like that in the kitchen, or, you know, the roles of the male or female, but like, was there ever a time or do you remember that feeling of where, like females know how to cook, like they should know how to cook, like when they say females should be in the kitchen, or like, because you're not a girl and you cook, you know what I mean? Like, did you ever feel that way, or was there ever like a certain type of like, oh, you shouldn't be here, or almost like overstepping those, where you're like, this is a girl's job, or the man's job, you know what I mean?
I always felt like if I cooked and I was able to clean, I was that much more attractive to the ladies. That's how I always took it. Like, if I can cook and clean, basically take care of myself, I'm that much more attractive. I'm not a layabout guy. I'm a better guy. You know, so I always saw it as a plus if I could do my own shit. And plus, I've lived with myself pretty early on, since I was like 18. Maybe 17 and a half, but like I did my own thing. Took care of myself, paid my own bills. I always saw that as a plus. But, and in almost all my relationships, I was usually stepping up to cook and, you know, like, take care of my partner as like I guess a courtesy, or like I got you kind of thing, or like taking care of my people.
Yeah.
And then I got with Sarah, and she was probably the first person who was like, no, I got this. She's like, I was raised Catholic. The lady takes care of her man. Like, I got it. And for me, it was refreshing. Like, wow, like, I kind of liked the sound of that. Like, it made me feel kind of manly. Like, yeah, my lady's taking care of me while I go to work or whatever. I'll go to work and bring home money, buy groceries. I'll do all this stuff, and I felt respected and taken care of. I mean, it became problems later on in the relationship, but when it started, it was like, wow, I've never had this. It was usually the other way around. And for her, it was a role thing.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, this is how I was raised. You take care of your man, he'll take care of you. Like, and I liked it. It felt right. Like, I was a protector and a provider, and she was mother and like a caregiver. She'd take care of all of us, and then if there were danger, I'd step up, and I went to work, and it felt good. It was different. It was definitely different. It felt really good. It was like, yeah, I got a lady, and I'm her man, and it felt like probably the first time in my life where I had like my own family. I took on the paterfamilias role. I was the head of the household, the man of the house, and that was a first for me.
And the man of the house doesn't cook?
No, I still cook. I made breads. You know, she'd make a soup or something, I'd make breads, and then I got like a bunch of specialty plates that I would make.
Yeah.
Like chili. Well, we call them Ohio beans in this house. We call it Ohio beans. And chicken enchiladas, tacos, Indian tacos and regular tacos, yeast bread.
But like by chance, I think you like to cook, you like to bake, you like to grill. But
I love to grill.
I guess the average male know how to cook. Or does the average female know how to cook? You know?
I think everybody should know how to cook. You know, I always come back to you need to be able to take care of your damn self if shit goes south. I think nowadays there's a lot of boys being raised by moms alone, and they got their mommy. You know what I mean? Like they go out in that world and they start looking for another mommy because they don't know how to take care of them damn selves.
Whoa.
And I see it as kind of pathetic. But that's just me. If you're out there, like, I'm not saying I'm not a mama's boy, but I'm like, hey, if you're out there and you're being triggered right now, take a breath. I just think we should all be able to take care of ourselves. You know, cook clean, wash your ass. You know, I think they're basic skills.
Yeah.
And if you don't got them, you're lacking.
I guess it's what are you eating?
Yeah.
Who's cooking the meals? Are you cooking the meals, or you relying on another person to make them?
Well, check it out. When it's just me at the house, like it's been like that for a long time. I would get my son like every week. I get him for a couple days during the week, and then I take him back to his mom. You know, he needs his mom. Boys need their moms. And when he wasn't there, like, well, my whole cooking, like once me and her broke up, it was like my whole style changed. I wasn't cooking for a family. I was cooking for me and occasionally for me and my son. So it was like it went from full-fledged vegetables and meats and some sort of carbohydrate like rice or noodles to just noodles and salty, quick-make foods. When I was cooking for myself, it was like microwave burritos and noodles and mac and cheese, hot dogs, all this garbage because I wasn't cooking for everybody else. I wasn't taking care of anybody but my son. And like I make sure he ate vegetables and fruits and all that, but when it came to taking care of myself, I just cooked whatever, garbage.
Wow.
I don't know if that answers your question. My diet changed.
I don't know if that answers the question. But
what was your question again?
I guess it was more like well, you did answer, but it was. I think it's like the gender roles and the norms and but in different like.
What do you
believe? You said like way you were brought up. I think. I think for, not to say for, I thought all women should know how to cook, but I guess it was kind of, to assume that all women know how to cook was wrong. But like, I mean, not wrong, but just, like.
Doesn't feel right to say that nowadays.
Yeah, because not everyone does know how to cook, or at least has a lot of experience to like whip up a lot of different things. Like I think everyone generally knows how to do, the basics, but like, I guess talking about food, it's like damn, like some people are eating good, or maybe some people are eating better than others. Like imagine somebody that, that went to culinary school and just knows all these different techniques and recipes, and they might have a better menu than somebody that just eats Hot Pockets.
Yeah.
As a choice. But and I eat Hot Pockets for lunch sometimes. Like.
Yeah.
But so I think there were some pockets where growing up where maybe I felt like not only females should be in the kitchen, where it was like I saw a lot of females in the kitchen. But then I realized that because my dad knew how to cook, knew how to bake, and so I saw him doing that, but just I guess maybe maybe in movies and stuff, where it wasn't really it was like a guy saying, "Give me my dinner,"
Where's my dinner?
Yeah, so where that was always something that was portrayed in films or in movies and stuff, where it was like a man waiting for his dinner because he's home and he works. So that's what I was asking. Just those roles that we're in now, are they? What do you call those, stereotypes or?
Yeah. Well, gender roles, and they're maybe a stereotype now.
Yeah, there you go.
I think there's some other type that comes with gender. I can't think of it right now. So check this out. TOs. When we have a feast or something, or a gathering, and we start having people go do the roles, or a funeral, the men get together and we clean yards, we go chop the wood, we come back, we dig the hole, we do some carrying, some lifting, do what we consider man work, butchering the cow, right? Then you come back and all the ladies are in the kitchen. They're cooking up the chumma, the kolgohida, the hoon. I'm probably fucking that all up. I'm just trying to get all serious here. I'm saying traditionally, again, I don't either a learned habit or this is how we've done it for so long. That during a traditional gathering, that's what I tend to find is the men going out and doing the work, it's not even the work, it's the heavy shit, the construction, and then the ladies are in working too, slaving over the fire, getting something ready to feed us and feed everybody else.
Yeah.
And traditionally, that's what I've seen. So if there's a role enclosed in my mind, it's painted by that. Now, I think I told you a few times, I think I brought it up on here, I did this paper for, I don't know if it was for humanities or if it was Native American Studies, Indian American Studies, Native American Studies, Native American Indian Studies, I think is what they called it, AIS, American Indian Studies. And I did a real half-assed paper. I didn't nearly put the time in it. We talked about it where you have a paper due and your heart's not in it. Suddenly it's a harder role to write. You're just pulling something out of your ass versus writing and passionately about what you really think.
Yeah.
I did this half-assed paper, and I was looking for sources. I was looking for articles to quote and put in this paper. Yeah. And I was following, I don't know if it was gender roles or domestic violence. I think it was domestic violence. and it was talking about local tribes in Arizona. I don't know if they were all in Arizona, but it was like Apache, Anasazi, Navajo. Maybe they were northern tribes, Hopi. Anyway, part of the article said that a lot of the traditional tribes, or the original tribes back in the day, were run by the females. The females were the speakers, the shot callers. They went, and when they did business, it was the ladies, the moms, the grandmas that went and took care of business while the men were at home. And in the article, it suggested that the natives learned this whole, I'm the man of the house, from white people when they started, or Europeans, Caucasians, Spaniards. The men would come to talk, and they wouldn't speak to the women. And so these men took on new roles of doing the speaking and the shot calling and, I'm the man. And the article was suggesting that was never a traditional, or originally it wasn't so predominant. So it was like the men started taking on these roles, and as part of the whole domestic violence on reservations it was also suggesting that the men saw the other people, the newcomers, the immigrants, or whatever you want to call them, coming in, and they saw the men beating the women, and that in this article it had suggested that that's where a lot of the domestic violence stems from on reservations, is it was a learned action. This woman's being disrespectful, beat her, kind of thing. Now, it's some dark shit to bring up, I know, but I'm saying it had been suggested, and I don't even remember where I went with the paper, but that kind of information stuck with me. I think I got like a shitty grade. I think it was like a C or a D minus or something. I half expected it to be better than that, but I half-assed it. I didn't feel my subject. It was one of the ones where they gave you choices, but it was all on their list, so it wasn't something I went out and wrote. It was like they gave me the title, and then I had to take it from there, and I had to go find sources and all that. So that's something I came across as far as gender roles in tribes.
Yeah.
It was suggested that it was all learned, and it was kind of against the way a lot of these original tribes go. And I know for a fact that Navajos, at least Navajos and Hopis, I know for sure the women were well, in Navajo I know for sure they're still the shot callers. I think it's still true with the Hopis too, because I've met a few Hopi women and they were hardcore.
Well, I think Native women,
yeah,
very strong, but very wise. But like that's kind of like we talk about like a new role, and then to see it, maybe like someone doing the role, and you're just following what was there, then it gets passed on. That's like, I really wonder about the like what did we all learn? I guess
yeah. And who the hell washed the dishes?
Who brought the damn dishes?
Was it always the kids?
Who dirtied the dishes?
you dirty motherfuckers. Yeah. Come get these dishes. Hey, I didn't dirty this dish. You come and wash this thing.
I ain't dirtying nothing.
Alright, so let's wrap this up, because I've been trying to keep us at 2 hours. We got like 6 minutes, and we're probably going to go over. So we've turned dishwashing into chores, into recycling, into mycology, into gender roles, into habits and memories, and now we're full circle again. I think I even brought up preference of mold.
Yeah.
Scrubbing utensil.
Well, I guess, there's maybe somebody does it differently and you don't know because you're not in their house, but yeah, I guess the house rules and, like, maybe when you're not in your house, you're not, like, you're telling that story, all I could think of was, well, maybe they didn't trust you well enough to be like, hey.
Just another man. I kind of felt like it was like, these young men, they have their heads up their asses, they don't know how to wash dishes. That's how I took it as. But I think that goes along the lines of my aggression is I took offense very easily.
Oh.
It was like, these guys, it pissed me off and I had to like walk away. I was like, whatever you ladies want.
What?
What it was a courtesy on my part. I thought it was a courtesy. Like, all right, I dirtied your dish. I'm gonna wash it and walk away. I'm not gonna leave a bowl in your sink.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna add to your dish pile here.
But I'm saying, like, what about like that ingrained role where you're a man, you don't know how to wash a dish.
Yeah. That's kind of how I took it. What the hell did you just do? You just rubbed that bowl with your hand? Get out of here. Get out of the kitchen. We got this. Step back, sir. Step back, young man.
You're out of your element, bro.
It was crazy, dude. It was like they were fighting each other just to get the chance to wash my bowl the second time. And I can't lie, it infuriated me. Damn, I always use that word. Infuriated me. It infuriated me. I was like, God damn it. I was going to give them the whole talk about hands and grip and, shitting on your hands. I was going to give them the whole speech, but I was like, you know what? Wash the damn dish. I'm better off stepping away and letting these two crazies do their crazy. Go for it. Have at it, ladies, and I went and sat down. I had already done my part, and I went and sat down. I was like, okay, you guys want to wash this bowl again? Wash it. Go for it. And I hope to God it's clean when you're done. They took that nasty-ass rag and rubbed that dish. So, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's like preference, I think.
Yeah.
My mom always talks about, like, the boys getting out, not having it rough as far as cleaning. Like, she was always saying, like, her grandma would make her stay and, like, do the kitchen work, and yet the boys got to play and have,
interesting.
And that was sort of like, I think that trickled down for us when we were little to where we had to do all that stuff. Because my mom was like, nah, I'm making my boys clean and do all that. Like, they're not gonna think. It's not gonna be like that when I'm running the household. But like, I think.
Awesome.
But I think that's maybe what we're talking about, where it's like, you don't know how to wash your dishes. You just know how to play.
They're like, hey, go play. We got this. Quit acting like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, that's what I mean. Like, the generations and the certain time frames where maybe a guy in the kitchen might not be acceptable or not acceptable, but like, oh, good.
Yeah, hey, get out of there, man. What are you doing? No, you're wrong. Get out.
Yeah, I mean, but I think, I don't know, but now it's like we have so many, like, famous I think of like Chef Ramsay or Bobby Flay. Like there's all these fancy chefs that kind of don't, that go against that, to where guys can hold it down in the kitchen, but it's like, I don't know, it sounds, me saying that, I sound like, well, females been holding it down forever, and a guy comes in and it's like, what a fucking miracle. But yeah, man, it feels like the ladies, sometimes we put the ladies, or maybe the ladies put us, I don't know where, but we're always assuming the generalization. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I think for some people it's a little bit of an obsession. Like, shit's got to be immaculate. Like you're walking in people's houses and you're kind of afraid to put a dish down, like a cold cup of water on the wood table. It's like, like it's so clean. Like I when I'm living alone, I could just chill in my filth. Like there's shit everywhere. There's cups. Like I said, my floor is all sticky. I'm just like, I'm good. Like a pig in mud. But then like I live with people, and you gotta carry your own. You gotta do your part and clean every now and then. Goddamn. At least every now and then. Like I've been in a couple households where I didn't clean on purpose because it was like they were doing too much. I was like, hey, you need to chill the fuck out. And I would say, like, hey, you need to sit down. If you want me to clean, you need to sit down. Sit down on this couch, put your feet up, and I'll go wash the dishes. But if you're just in there and I can't stop you, then that's a whole other level that I'm not getting involved in. It's like, all right, you're out there, man. And you gotta have that dish clean right now. I'm not gonna get in your way. Go ahead and do it. Just don't give me shit later, like, oh, you don't wash the dishes. I'm like, hey, I told your ass to sit down, and I thought that was a good thing. I thought you would jump at it and go sit your ass down while I wash the dishes, but no. So there were times where I would not clean out of protest. Like, no, I ain't doing it. I'm not joining in on whatever crazy you got going on here. No.
Well, so then I guess there's levels to cleanliness, and well, the pickle we're in now is, you wonder how much of that's related to, well, of course it's related, but like
interesting. That's an interesting take.
I don't know, I guess I lost it. But
you were talking about a relationship between these habits we have and what's happening to the world. That didn't bring you back?
No, I did. But
well, you got something to say in closing?
Oh, in closing? To sum it all up, I don't know, be aware of the dishes you're dirtying. I don't know. I guess there are responsibilities that in our day-to-day, or I don't know, we always talk about that carbon footprint, or like, I guess what we're doing and what we're producing. Is the mess worth it? And are you going to clean it up? Because I think that's what we're talking about. It's just kind of cleaning up after ourselves.
Yeah.
But this will be my closing. I always say this to kids, because I talk to a lot of kids and they're always like, chores is a natural thing. Like, we all have chores. You'll continue to have chores as you get older. They change.
Yeah, they get harder.
And I say, like, would you rather come home to a clean kitchen or a dirty kitchen? And of course, they're gonna say a clean kitchen, but I'm like, well, you gotta actually clean it to get like that. And
yeah, somebody's gotta do the work.
Yeah, someone has to do it, but it's a good feeling to go into a kitchen that's clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess it's like there's a good feeling behind this thing of not wanting to do, or I usually say daunting, where we might try to like dodge it or not do it, but there is something good at the end. But sometimes we don't appreciate things like that. We're too caught up in maybe the time we think we're wasting. I don't know. I guess, do we gain anything from washing dishes, or is it just exactly what it is?
I think the satisfaction you're talking about, the pride in your work, I think that's a very adult feeling. That's an adult reward for doing a good day's work. I really don't think kids even consider the kitchen. Like you're asking kids how they feel about a clean kitchen, and I think most kids could just take it or leave it. I mean, if you really ask, hey, how do you feel about a clean house? Again, I think it's habit. Like, I think some moms would rather kick the kids out and let them play while she, gets shit in order than, or a dad. I guess I'm pushing that gender role here. Or a dad, get the kids out from under your feet and get to work. Again, the kids would rather be out playing than cleaning or doing chores. I just don't. I'm surprised you asked the kids about a clean kitchen.
No, it's at that point where you're given chores.
Oh, so they're older kids. Yeah,
so it's like you have to do the dishes. So, but I think that's also when you're talking about roles. But like, I guess the role where you're not just washing dishes for yourself. You're kind of washing dishes for everybody that going to use those dishes again. So it's kind of like
you're making way for the next cook.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that's kind of like understanding, like, hey, the kitchen is kind of like a shared space, and your action can make it a positive place because you cleaned it, and it looks good. Like,
it brightens up the place.
Yeah, it's not just like a sticky ass floor and pile of dishes. But I get what you're saying too. Where I guess it's noticing the dirty dishes.
Yeah. Saying, well, that's what I'm saying. Like all this satisfaction we're talking about, I gotta repeat that we're old guys now because we're talking about.
Appreciating
a nice mop bucket. Like, damn, that's a nice mop bucket. Like, a kid's not walking around thinking that. Damn, that's a nice mop bucket, mister. but you're become your dad or your mom or something, and you're like, damn, like, check it out. You start pushing it around the kitchen, like, damn, I could clean up in here.
Yeah,
that's like a learned adult reward. Like I do feel better. It's enlightening to walk in the kitchen and see everything. The counter's clean, no dishes out of place, everything's put away, and it's like there's a damn difference. Like there were times where I let my house go. Like I got in like a dark place. I was all alone. My son's with his mom, and I was just sitting there like damn, like I could let a house go for a while. Like it's depressing to look at all that shit after a while. I'm looking around in my room, and I clean it when you guys come and we do the recording, but like, it's all trashed again. And I'm like looking at it, and if it were just cleaned up a little bit, my mind would be a little bit lighter. You know what I mean? It'd be a little less mess in the brain.
Yeah.
But that's a very adult way of thinking. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's but again, it's something you have to learn. Yeah. I mean, like, I guess, like, you think a kid is putting away their toys. If you don't teach them to put away their toys, then it's okay for them to bring out whatever fucking toys they want, and there's no meal. So, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, kind of like, not pushing a dog, but it kind of feels like it.
Well,
yeah.
We're preparing them for the world, the way things are. Eventually, hopefully, they'll be out of your house, and again, you know, you put them out there, they're either going to look for another mommy or daddy or however that shit works, and then, you know, never take care of themselves.
Huh.
I'm teaching my son to put away his toys. And, like, when he asks for something to eat, I'm like, did you eat the last thing I gave to you? Because we're not in the business of wasting food here, son. Like, did you eat the eggs I made you this morning? Because if you're hungry now, that's why. Like, you better eat those. I'll warm them up if you want. Like, we're training these little people to be adults one day. And what you train them right now, like, I'm sure my son's going to be a little bit of a mess like me. But I am telling him, like, if you want the next thing, you got to do this. You want to pull out this whole paint set, you better put away those fucking blocks. Like,
yeah.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your crap. Like, as a kid, I don't know how many, like, fantastic toys I had that I ruined, broke, burned, did something crazy, lost them.
Oh.
And, like, I know I want to tell my son, hey, take care of this toy. It's a good toy. But he's got, you know, shattered toys, all these half-used McDonald's toys laying all over the place. You know, like, he's learning now what he's gonna be like in the future. And I'd rather he knows how to clean after himself. And just like me, as soon as he can see over the top of that washer and reach the buttons, he's washing his own clothes.
Whoa.
Like, he's gonna wash his own damn clothes, and I've already had him cooking in the kitchen with me. Like, I'm sure if I helped him a little bit, he could make his own eggs. Maybe sausage. I had him flip sausage, but that's a dangerous roll right there with all the spitting oil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. So here's my closing. All right. I would rather we're contributing to the betterment of our household and the betterment of the world by washing those damn dishes, learning how to do it, taking the damn garbage out, and contributing. If you're in a house with other people, do your part. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Make your way. Like, if I have a house guest, I would hope they'd have the smarts enough to clean for their spot. If they're going to be taking up space in my house, I'd rather they be cleaning than just stinking up the place and putting their feet up. So, like, to all you adult children, if you can't cook or you can't clean or whatever it is you can't do that adults should be able to do, get on that. Start contributing. Not just for other people, but for yourself. For your self-respect. And like you said, where you're not a big cooker, I definitely hear you washing dishes a lot. So I think you're putting in. You're doing your part in the maybe not circle of life, but circle of dishes. Circle of if you want to eat, you wash those damn dishes.
Oh yeah.
So you're doing your part. I can hear it. I know it. Almost every time we record, you're telling me you're eating and then washing dishes. So that's like at least once a week that I hear you saying that. So you're doing your part. And I'm just talking to whoever's out there like, my mom takes care of me. Like, bitch, you better get on that. Better pick up some role where you earn your keep.
Yeah.
And if you're a dude out there looking for ladies, you know, take care of your body. It's attractive to be taken care of, like cleaned up, ironed shirt, you know.
Oh man.
Clean clothes that you washed. That's attractive. Cook a meal for a woman, she'll love you even all the more for it. You know, you want to be a badass. Do something. Take care of your own. I think now this may be stereotypical, but I felt like I became a man when I had my son, not because I made a son, but because I had to step up and play the role. I had to take care of more than just myself. I was like I was contributing, but like there was much more at stake when I had created somebody that I was responsible for. And it changed me where I was like, you know, I think we've had this talk where it was like, oh, I'm a man now. Oh, I'm 18, I'm a man, I'm an adult. Nah, not really. And, you know, every year, as I was younger, I was always an older person going, you're just a kid. I'm 35, and a 60-year-old would be like, you're a youngster. You ain't shit. You know, kind of basically telling me, you ain't shit. Because of my age, and it's like, I remember growing up, like, I was finally 18 or 21, and I was old enough to drink. And then I had 25-year-olds being like, get away from me. Like, we've had this talk, like, I think manhood or womanhood is when you start taking care of yourself or others. And some people take that role on way earlier than others. Like, some are forced into that role. You know, missing parents or working parents, and you're the only kid there taking care of others. You've basically become the adult. Or you're playing the role.
Yeah. Oh, I think kids they got a lot of information. And they have to figure out what they can do with that information. So they got a lot of the brain.
There's a lot to learn.
But yeah, wash those dishes.
Wash some dishes. Contribute. Do your part.
I'm
about
to wash them. I'm about to go wash some dishes right now.
I'm about to go wash some dishes. Play some music. Damn.
Yeah, man, make some coffee.
Dude, I'll tell you, sometimes when you're feeling down, I come on this podcast when I'm feeling down, and I remind myself that I'm not as bad as I think I am. Sometimes. I definitely feel better whenever we're off of this thing. When we got one in the bank, we knocked one out.
Yeah.
All right.
We chopped this one down, man.
Yeah. We came out punching. All right. So.
Yep.
I want to close it out. Unless you got some last word.
No, I'm done, man. I'm all washed out.
I was gonna say, you're hitting up your rag. You dried out your sponge and you put it back in its place.
Yeah. Yep.
You've emptied the sink and you're good to go. You're done. You're all spent. Now you got that satisfaction of a clean kitchen.
Yep.
All right. All right. So everybody out there, whoever's listening, if you're still listening right now, thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, guys. We need more subscribers, and not exactly how the likes contribute, but I do like seeing them when I see them. Like, oh shit, we got likes.
Oh, nice.
So I think we're up to 6 on the last episode. That's the most I've ever seen, I think, in the whole year and a half we've been doing this. So I like seeing that. So if you're still here listening, thank you. Everybody out there, you know, like and subscribe, and thanks for listening, guys. Oh shit, that's it. Sky's yawning. It's time to go.
Damn.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Boom.